Imagine bringing in $3,500 a month in dividend income that keeps growing over time and doing it in a way where you never run out of money. Sounds good, right? Well, in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to make that possible. And trust me, what I'm about to share might really surprise you. It's not some overly complicated financial trick, and it's definitely not something that only Wall Street insiders can do. In fact, the method is so simple, you'll probably wonder why more financial advisors don't talk about it. But here's the thing, you'll want to stick with me all the way through, because missing even one step could mean missing the key that makes this whole strategy work. Now, let's address the big problem. Traditional retirement advice is not working anymore. The old school approach basically tells you, save as much as possible, hope it's enough, and then slowly sell off your investments in retirement, crossing your fingers that you don't outlive your money. But here's the catch. If you're selling shares and the market suddenly crashes, you're forced to sell at a loss. That's not a retirement plan. That's gambling with your future. And unfortunately, this is why so many people end up disappointed. They either retire way later than they wanted to, cut back and live with less than they could, or in some cases, they never actually get to retire. Let's talk numbers for a second. In the US, the average retiree needs somewhere between $3,200 and $4,500 a month just to cover basic living expenses. That's not luxury living. That's housing, healthcare, food, transportation, and keeping up a modest lifestyle. But here's the scary part. The average Social Security check is only about $1,900 a month. Even if you maxed out your benefits after decades of work, you're probably looking at around $2,500 tops. That still leaves a gap, anywhere from $700 to even $2,000 a month, that you'll need to cover on your own. And this is exactly where dividends come in and completely flip the script. Dividends aren't just some little extra payout. They're the backbone of a retirement strategy that focuses on sustainability and freedom. Think about it like this. Let's say you own 1,000 shares of a dividend ETF, and it pays $2 per share per year. That's $2,000 in your pocket annually without selling a single share. And here's the best part. Next year, that dividend might grow to $2.10 or $2.20 per share. That growth compounds over time, which is why dividend investing is so powerful. Dividends also give you something most retirement plans don't, a natural hedge against inflation. As those payouts grow year after year, they help protect your buying power. And on top of that, there's real psychological peace that comes with knowing you're still getting paid, even when the market takes a hit. Now, this is where things get really exciting. Let me introduce you to two of the most powerful retirement tools out there. Tools that, honestly, Wall Street would probably rather you didn't know about. SCHD. Why these two? Well, let's start with SCHD. This isn't just another dividend ETF you can pick off the shelf. SCHD is a carefully built portfolio made up of some of America's strongest, most battle-tested companies. These are businesses that don't just pay dividends, they consistently grow them year after year. And here's what makes SCHD even more impressive. It's extremely cost-efficient. The expense ratio is just 0.06%. To put that in perspective, if you invested $10,000, you'd only be paying about $6 a year in fees. That's practically nothing. And it means more of your money stays invested and keeps compounding for your future. Lately, I've noticed a wave of articles and YouTubers hyping up SCHD like it's the only ETF you'll ever need. And don't get me wrong, it is an amazing fund. But let's be clear about one thing. You can't build your entire financial future on SCHD alone. And that's because even though SCHD is fantastic for generating income and providing stability, but that's only half of the picture. To complete the puzzle, you need something that balances it out. That's where VTI comes in. VTI, or the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, does exactly what its name suggests. It gives you exposure to the entire US stock market. That means everything from giants like Apple and Tesla, all the way down to small cap innovators that could grow into tomorrow's household names. VTI brings in the growth drivers and the businesses that compound wealth over decades. VTI also keeps costs incredibly low. The expense ratio of just 0.03%. That's only $3 a year for every $10,000 invested. So while SCHD focuses on dividend growth and value, put simply, SCHD delivers reliable cash flow, while VTI gives you long-term growth. And when you combine the two, that's when the dream of $3,500 a month becomes not just possible, but actually sustainable. And the best part is, it's rising, it's repeatable, and honestly, it's ridiculously simple to execute. Together, these two will give you a retirement plan built on steady dividends, long-term growth, and real peace of mind. Now, here's a little secret most people overlook. The real magic is in SCHD's dividend track record. Since it launched, it has increased its dividend payments by an average of about 7.5% every single year. To put that into perspective, if you were collecting $1,000 in dividends this year, next year that could grow to $1,075, and the year after, $1,156, all without adding a single extra dollar of your own. So, let's break this down and talk about the actual math behind that number. If your goal is to generate $3,500 per month, which adds up to $42,000 a year, you need to understand how dividend investing works differently than the old-school retirement strategies most people are still told to follow. Traditional advice says, save up around $1,050,000 and then withdraw about 4% each year. We already know that this is not the best plan to follow. You already know that the smarter approach is to invest in funds that gives you dividends. So, let's see how you actually make that $3,500 a month from dividends a reality. There are 3 core strategies you can use. Each has its own balance of growth and income, but all of them are designed to give you peace of mind no matter what the market's doing. But before that, if you're enjoying this so far, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. And hit the like button. It helps me know what kind of ETF and dividend retirement videos you want to see next. So let's start with strategy number 1, the conservative approach. This strategy means allocating about 60% of your portfolio into SCHD and 40% into VTI. By leaning a little heavier on SCHD, you're prioritizing a strong starting yield and steady income. That way, you've got reliable dividends rolling in, while VTI still gives you exposure to long-term growth. Strategy number 1 is designed for people who want more certainty and less volatility. But let's move on to strategy number 2, the moderate approach. This one is simple, a 50-50 split between SCHD and VTI. It gives you a balanced mix of income and growth, which makes it really attractive if you're planning to retire a little earlier, say in your 40s or 50s. With this setup, you're getting reliable cash flow now, while still building long-term wealth for the future. It's flexible, it's balanced, and for a lot of people, this ends up being the sweet spot. Now let's talk about strategy number 3, the growth approach. Here, you tilt the portfolio toward growth by allocating 40% to SCHD and 60% to VTI. The yield you get up front will be a bit smaller, but the long-term capital appreciation can be much greater. This is the kind of strategy that's perfect for younger investors who have decades ahead of them. Think of it like planting seeds. You water them today, and years down the road, you harvest much bigger dividends. But here's something most people completely overlook. Time is your biggest enemy when it comes to investing. If you start in your 20s, you might only need to invest a few $100s per month to hit a meaningful passive income goal. But if you wait until your 40s, suddenly you may need to put in 3 to 5 times more every single month just to catch up. Why? Because compounding doesn't care about excuses. It rewards those who take action early and punishes those who delay. Every year you wait, the cost of catching up grows significantly. That's why the best day to start was yesterday, and the second best day is today. With the conservative setup, your blended yield comes out to around 2.8%. That means to hit $3,500 a month in dividends, you'd need to invest roughly $1.5 million. Now, before you panic at that number, don't. I'm going to show you how to actually make this happen step by step. Remember, this approach is designed for people who value peace of mind and want to sleep well at night knowing their money is working for them. Now, let's move on to strategy 2, the moderate strategy. This is the 50-50 approach. The blended yield in this setup is about 2.6%. To reach $3,500 a month, you'd need around $1.615 million invested. The beauty of this strategy is that it gives you both stability and growth, income security today, and compounding wealth for tomorrow. It's really the sweet spot for people who want to grow without taking on too much risk, who are playing the smart, long-term game. But here's the good news. You don't actually need $1.6 million sitting around right now to make this achievable. For every method, I will show you how to work toward it in a realistic way, no matter where you're starting from. Which brings us to strategy 3, the go for growth strategy. Like I said before, this is for the people who believe their best days are still ahead of them. The blended yield here is around 2.4%, and to generate $3,500 a month, you'd need about $1.75 million invested. Now that we talked about all the intimidating numbers, let's actually calculate how much do you really need to set aside each month to hit these goals. Well, I've been digging into the numbers, and the truth is, it all comes down to when you start. Here's the tough truth. Every year you wait, the harder the climb becomes. The monthly amount you'll need to invest just keeps getting bigger. That's why starting early really matters. Those early years are golden. So let's put together a clear action plan you can actually start using today. Step 1. Run your numbers. Use the formulas to figure out exactly what you'll need. Then decide which allocation strategy, conservative, balanced, or growth-focused, best matches your comfort level. Step 2. Calculate how much you'll need to invest each month to hit your goal. Don't let the numbers scare you. This is about creating a plan, not perfection. Step 3. Open the right investment accounts if you haven't already. The good news? Most major brokers now offer commission-free ETF trading, which means you can put this strategy into motion almost anywhere. Step 4. Set up automatic transfers from your bank account so your investing happens consistently without you having to think about it. Then, make that very first investment. Even if it's small, the habit is what counts. And over time, compound growth does the heavy lifting. Step 5. Reinvest dividends until you retire. Once you're rolling, create a monthly routine. Log in, check that your automatic contributions went through, review your balances, and make sure your portfolio is still aligned with your chosen strategy. And don't forget to celebrate the small wins. Every deposit, every dividend payment, every milestone brings you closer to true financial independence. Each year, as your salary grows, bump up your contributions. If your life circumstances change, reassess your allocation. And if you're investing in a taxable account, remember to look into tax loss harvesting to keep more money in your pocket. Also, don't skip estate planning. Keep your beneficiaries updated so your hard work protects the people you care about. And when a market crash hits, and it will, don't panic. Don't hit the sell button. Stick to your plan. Crashes are actually opportunities because you're buying shares on sale. If you can, invest even more during downturns. Remember, history shows us every crash has always been followed by a recovery and eventually new highs. Now, if you ever face a job loss or your income takes a hit, scale back temporarily if you must, but try not to stop completely. Lean on your emergency fund instead of raiding your retirement accounts and get back to full contributions as soon as things stabilize. Along the way, celebrate your big milestones. Your first $10,000 invested, then $100,000, which is where compounding really kicks in. Then $500,000, which puts you halfway to most retirement goals. And finally, that big $1 million mark, where financial independence becomes a reality you can actually see on the horizon. So, let's recap. With just two simple ETFs, SCHD and VTI, you now have a roadmap to generate $3,500 a month in retirement income. No gimmicks, just high-quality companies pay dividends. And over time, those dividends grow. And here's the key takeaway. It's not about piling up a giant balance and hoping it lasts. It's about creating a portfolio that generates reliable, growing income. Income that works for you without you having to sell a single share. Remember, time in the market always beats timing the market. Starting today is always better than waiting until tomorrow. And also reinvest your dividends until you retire. That way you will hit the 1 million mark without even knowing. Here's what I want you to do right now. Watch the video above where I break down how to make the perfect retirement portfolio, so you will be good no matter what the economy is like. Finally, drop a comment with your age and the strategy you're planning to follow. I'd love to hear it. And if you've got questions or concerns, post them below and I'll help you out. See you in the next one.